All right, I think we're back online. So Representative Gresco.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Dan, for reaching out. Enjoyed our meeting. I'm just going to go to a specific instance from my district. Cub Tech Medical Imaging, high-end manufacturing, ticks all the boxes, women-owned, minority-owned, had a fire and rebuilt. Yet there was line 600 on page 400,702 that said that, this one hurdle you don't meet. So sorry, you can go to Texas. As the commissioner, do you step in?
It's a great question with a very specific nuance to it, which is I don't know what it said on line 600 of page 4,702. If I had the flexibility to address that, I absolutely would step in. That's depending on what it was referring to. One of the things that I would suggest we continue to support is flexibility in some of our approaches. I describe the laws of unintended consequence, that at times, as we execute, as we roll out the programs that you've afforded us, at times there are examples where I'll look at something and I'll say, this doesn't make sense. No one who put this in place actually wanted this to be the restriction. I'll give you a great example. We had an important employer in one of our lower income regions that wanted to avail themselves of Job CT. As a reminder, Job CT is an incentive program for anyone hiring more than 25 people. One of the elements it has, which I absolutely support, is the jobs have to be higher than 85% of the region's salary base. And this was an example of a company that hires people right out of high school and trains them. And these are the jobs this community needs. This is the largest employer in the area. These are considered to be great jobs to get because you get it and then they train you and your salary increases from there. One of the challenges I was going to have to, we ended up making it work through other areas, but that particular element, it was definitionally below the median. I had no flexibility around. So one of the things that we have asked in our package of proposed technical changes is, potentially some flexibility to consider other factors. In this case, it would have been training. This is a company that was going to spend a lot of money training that was not factored into the program itself. I give you this general answer because it's hard to speak to the specificity of what you asked, but I would say that's the kind of flexibility where, as long as it's within the law, clearly we're going to follow the law to the letter. But if there's flexibility to afford certain situations that I think everyone would agree make economic sense, it's the right thing to do, that I would do that.
Thank you for the answer. And just so that you know, the 80-20 rule, there's a bill in Commerce to be adjusting that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Next up, Representative Figueroa has her hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, to give me the opportunity to ask a few questions. First of all, I would like to start by saying thank you to our commissioner by taking his time to meet with some of us. Hopefully, I'm speaking the right way because I did meet with him, and I did like the way how he is approaching the economic development within our state. So congratulations on your appointment. With that said, I would like to know, I have a few questions for you. Banking on all the experience that you are displaying, that you are bringing into this commission, I would like to hear from you as to what do you think are some factors that could affect our economic growth in our state? And also, I would like to hear from you as a few economic development strategies that you may implement in our state also as our new commissioner. Thank you.
You bet. It's a great question.
More specifically, I would like to know what you could do also for our minorities, because don't forget, as I was speaking with you, I mentioned my concerns as to how, our group within our community, we are lacking, especially funds for small businesses. Thank you.
Okay, so 3 questions. So first, just in terms of the strategy for economic development, and whether there might be areas where I see risk. So first, I'll start with the strategy for economic development. I think of it as offense and defense. Offense is protecting, let's start with defense. Defense is protecting our large established industries, one of which is the defense sector, pun unintended. But the insurance cluster, the financial services area, just making sure that these companies continue to know that they have a great environment to continue to grow. And that's workforce. That's making sure they know they can, we are a one phone call state. They can call me anytime. And if there are things that I can do to help them grow, to help them build, that's a spirit of great partnership. Second piece is offense. That is continuing to support these ecosystems of innovation and allowing our economy to build more in what are secularly growing sectors. And here's what I mean by that. Our economy is over-indexed towards cyclical end markets. 13 to 14% is finance and insurance. That's indexed to capital markets. The defense sector, manufacturing, but principally the defense sector is 12%. That's indexed to global unrest, if we're being, clear with each other. And that's part of why I think the fiscal guardrails were so important. That's part of why our economy cycles as emphatically as it does, is it's indexed towards cyclical end markets. And so what I'd like to see us continue to do is support some of these growth areas. Again, this is the offensive portion of the strategy. And these are technology companies. These are software businesses. These are the information industries. These are sectors where I've spent, the last 25 years of my life supporting. Second question you asked was about risks I see and potential, exposures. The greatest, there's a number of impediments I've already described to our economic growth. We've talked about housing. We've talked about workforce. What we haven't talked about is the cost of energy. And the cost of energy is high in our region. This is a regional problem. This is not unique to the state of Connecticut. But we have a Connecticut problem, which is the defense industry, manufacturing sector, which is where energy is a significant component of its cost structure. It is higher for us. It is a larger portion of our GDP than it is for any other state in our region, in the electrical grid. And so that's one thing where I have been spending some time. That is not my lane. That is handled very well by my fellow Commissioner Dykes and Deep and Pura. But I from an economic perspective, I do think it is worthy to consider and have spent some time around regional collaboration. I am bringing the fellow economic leads from our other states in our region into Hartford to have a conversation around ways we might collaborate, particularly around energy, which is one area where I think that collaboration would be well suited. The last question you asked was just what we're doing to support our minorities in our economic growth strategies. I mentioned at the outset in my opening remarks that 60% of our small business support is going to our Black and brown constituents. As I look at all of our programs, and I could list off data points here, but I think it'd probably be easier if we just engage if you're curious around these data points. But if I look at all of our programs, they're all geared towards our structurally marginalized communities and our structurally marginalized constituents. And so I think actually the strategy and the approach of the DECD, I said it before, I'll say it again, is deeply aligned with my values, which is doing the good work every day of helping out these constituents.
Thank you for your answers. As a follow-up, I heard you saying that, opening the communications or letting people know that you are here, we are here to help. So how can we establish a good communication between, the business owners who many times, especially, within our communities, they don't even know that there are some resources available. Therefore, we do not take advantage of these benefits that may be available for us. And also, I think that in your introduction, you mentioned or somebody asked you and you recognize that the population in Connecticut is growing. And then that brings me into the problem that we are facing. And while we recognize it's not unique to any municipality or city or town, I know this is an issue that we are all facing, but because we're in Connecticut, obviously my concerns are here in Connecticut. So with the population that you are referring to, that they are moving in, the problem that we are having is, that what we are developing, and to a point, I said, overdeveloping, and I don't want to apply that not in my backyard, because I welcome anybody into my backyard as long as they provide with what we need. That's what we are lacking of. But to me, we are developing all these big high-rising buildings, where we are not really offering enough affordable units for those people who are moving in. And we don't also give the opportunity to own. I think renting and owning obviously is very different, but we are forced practically to be paying high rent, when that rent we could be using to pay our own mortgage. So how do we approach that? Are we going to continue being just tenants paying a mortgage, not a mortgage, but rather a rent, instead of owning that? So I don't know if it's within your purview as to how we will approach that necessity that we are facing, many of us are facing right now.
Yep. So two questions there. Let me start with the latter, which is, if I were to boil it down, I think the cost of housing. And you are right. I want to be super clear what's in my lane, what's not. We have a Department of Housing that is very focused on these issues. But you bring up population growth. And I agree. It's supply and demand. If you have tens of thousands of new residents come into if you have all that demand come in and the supply is lagging, price only has one direction to go in. So your point around the cost of housing being a challenge, that I completely understand. I come at it with my same economic lens, which is, how do you solve for that? You solve for that by building more housing. You solve for increasing demand by increasing supply, and that will bring the cost down. Unfortunately, these are large, complex systems, and it does just take time. So I'm excited about the work that DECD has done. I mentioned the 7,000 of new housing units that we've helped support since 2002. But I also think that, that over time, we can start to see an impact on pricing if we continue to focus on supply of housing. The second question you asked was about awareness. How do we make our constituents aware of the programs that are available to them? And that I think, that's an important point, which is, as I travel around and talk to folks about our various problems, you are 100% correct. Not everyone knows that they're available. We clearly, the DECD has a website. Clearly, we are out in the communities. When we market Boost at a very local level, we are out in the community talking about these programs that are available to us. But I'd also like to work with all of you. You are all in touch with your constituents every single day. And if I can be helpful to you in just getting the message out about we are here to help, I would love to do that.
Thank you again, Commissioner. Mr. Chairman, I yield the floor. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from committee members? Seeing none, Commissioner, we have, pull it up. One last question. We ask every nominee, is there anything in your past that you believe might prove embarrassing to this committee, to the governor, or to the state of Connecticut?
No.
Wonderful. Thank you again. Congratulations on your nomination. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Third and final item on the agenda for the public hearing is the nomination of Nicholas D. Kapoor of Monroe to be reappointed as a member of the Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities. Nick, thanks for sticking with us today, and it's been a long day. If you could do me a favor and raise your right hand. Do you promise, swear, and affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Wonderful. The floor is yours for any opening comments you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Nicholas Kapoor, and I'm so honored to be here today to discuss my renomination by Speaker Ritter to the Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities. First, I'd like to thank the Speaker for continuing to put his trust in me, and I'd also like to thank Governor Lamont for his appointment of me as chairman of the Commission last August. It has truly been a pleasure to serve the people of the state of Connecticut on the CHRO for nearly 7 years. I started my love of public service as an intern in this building, and with your approval, I hope to serve another term. I hold an MBA in finance from Sacred Heart University, a master's degree in math from Fairfield University, and a master's degree in American politics and government from the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Professionally, I'm a professor of mathematics at Fairfield U, where I also serve in an administrative role as the associate director of our Center for Teaching and Learning. I also maintain a budding research agenda at the intersection of mathematics and political science. Some of my projects include predicting winners in ranked choice voting elections, the benefits or lack thereof of fusion voting, especially in Connecticut and New York state legislative elections, as well as improved ballot design. I serve as a member of the board of directors for the Bridgeport-based Center for Family Justice, a center for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. Should the General Assembly approve the nominations of the CHRO Commissioner nominees and the Office of Public Hearing nominee, the CHRO will have a full complement of 9 volunteer commissioners and 3 public hearing referees for the first time in 20 years. Like so many other state agencies, the CHRO was hit by the silver tsunami. We continue to advertise open positions, request extensions on TWRs, and work through our employee churn. The CHRO is in the process of submitting its first major regulations review in 15 years. We are looking to modernize our regulations to not only conform to statute, but also bring civil rights advocacy and enforcement into the 21st century. The Commission has also undergone an extensive review of the submission of state agency affirmative action plans, and we continue to work through steps to get a stable and reliable electronic system up and running for all affirmative action plans in the very near future. And this work on affirmative action plans has actually been one place where we've been able to break down some of those silos in our state agencies by bringing commissioners and staff together to talk about this. Launching in the first quarter of 2024, the Commission has been working on 2 very important studies. The first, an equity study, looks at how accessible our state government is to its citizens. A draft of the study is available at ct.gov/equity study. It was formally launched at the Cementing Equity in State Government Symposium alongside the Commission on Racial Equity and Public Health's new report. Our last public session on this study will be 7 o'clock on Tuesday night on Teams. Hope some of you can join us. The second report the Commission is in the final stages of is the disparity study. That will, quote, examine whether Connecticut's procurement program achieves the state's goal of identifying and hiring small contractors and minority business enterprises, end quote. A draft report of the study will be launching in March. And from these 2 studies, there will be years worth of legislation for you all to consider. The CHRO has also increased its education and outreach programs immensely in the last few years. We had hundreds attend our annual MLK March in January, and we are also welcoming dozens of new students to our Kids Court Academy this coming spring. We continue to attend state and regional conferences, conduct trainings with municipal and state entities and professional organizations, and get our name out there as much as possible so that the citizens of Connecticut know where they can go for civil rights assistance. We also continue to advocate for statutory changes through the legislature and maintain a robust legislative agenda helmed by our legislative advisor, Darcy Strand. Over the last couple of years, with your help, we've adopted the Crown Act, included victims of domestic violence as a protected class, and created the enabling legislation around the disparity and equity studies. And there is so much more work to be done in continuing to modernize our statutes and bring best practices from around the country to Connecticut in creating a robust set of civil rights laws. This year, the Commission will also embark on the creation of a civil rights museum. It will be the first in the region, all of our Northeast and Mid-Atlantic states, and we will look to you for support of this endeavor with much more to come on this during session. With all of these activities and being led by our Executive Director, Tanya Hughes, Deputy Director Cheryl Sharp, and Managing Attorneys Kim Jacobson and Michelle Dumas-Kuhler, the CHRO is poised to enter a new era of productivity, advocacy, and visibility. We strive to ensure that every individual in our state has the opportunity to live free from discrimination and has equal access to justice, services, and opportunities that the state has to offer. We are the longest existing state civil rights agency in the country for a reason, and the commitment of every CHRO employee and commissioner to civil rights and social justice is unwavering and unending. As an agency, we will always continue to adapt our strategies and policies to meet the ever-evolving needs of our diverse population. Much thanks again to Speaker Ritter and the Governor for their appointments, and I'm happy to entertain any questions. Thank you.
Nick, thanks very much for your testimony and again for sticking with us all day today, and congratulations on your nomination, and thank you for your willingness to continue to serve on this important committee. Again, just to reiterate, how long have you served on CHRO?
So I've been there for 7 years and I'm seeking my third term.
Wonderful. And you're currently the chair, correct?
Yes, the governor appointed me in this last August.
That's wonderful. In the 7 years you've served, what have you enjoyed the most about being part of this committee?
Um, I think getting to work with the staff. So we are one of those weird commissions where the agency is run by a board of commissioners that appoints an executive director, similar to the FOI Commission, State Elections Enforcement Commission. So we're not running the day to day, but especially in these last few months as chair, working with our executive director a bit more intimately on the day to day. Being able to see all the good work that our staff is doing to really move civil rights forward in Connecticut has really been rewarding.
That's great. And you mentioned the Civil Rights Museum. Can you expand a little bit on, do we have a location yet on it?
So
Because
I'm,
I will say Hartford's a great location for it. If you're looking, if you're still looking.
of course, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
So I'm not at liberty to discuss things in negotiations, but we are looking at different points in the state, central points in the state, and we hope to build that out and really make it, talking about the Commissioner of DECD, make it a tourism destination, make it something that people in the region would want to come to.
It's wonderful. And I don't know if you have this with you or have an answer, but what's a common turnaround time from when someone files a complaint with CHRO by the time they get, a resolution to that complaint? Is it, are we talking months, years sometimes?
So I would say generally months. Our age inventory has ticked up slightly over the past couple of months. As I said in my remarks, we were hit by people retiring, working through hiring people. So our staff works diligently to close out as many cases as possible. We want to make sure that we don't move too quickly to make mistakes. But we do also understand that justice needs to be delivered to people who need it. And so years ago, 10 to 15 years ago, when our executive director came into office, people were waiting 2 to 4 years for an adjudication just at the first level. That is much, much less. We've increased uses of technology in tracking our cases. And so we continue to adjudicate them as quickly as possible.
That's great. That's all I have. Again, thank you for your willingness to continue to serve this important committee. I will open it up to rest of the committee, starting with Representative Yakarino.
I'll be very brief. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for serving, Nicholas. It's an important organization, important agency, I should say, and you do good work. In your 7 years, have you seen an uptick in either domestic violence or inappropriate behavior toward men and women, either in the job workforce or in wherever you might see it?
A lot of our cases are employment cases. We also have a housing division that gets a lot of cases. We have a few public accommodation cases. So all of the protected classes in statute aren't weighted equally in the cases that we get. We did advocate for, and you all passed legislation adding status as a victim of domestic violence last year. I believe this year we'll be bringing back adding status as a victim of sexual assault to the statute that was taken out of a judiciary bill last year. We'd like to bring that back. So I think it's important in our statutes to have protected classes there as wide as possible so that people can take an opportunity of them, even if they're not used frequently. We do have some that are used more frequently. We've gotten some interesting cases, especially since COVID, around vaccine mandates, around people being forced back into the office in certain situations. So it's actually been kind of an exciting time for novel things that have come up. Some have been adjudicated through the judiciary, some haven't. COVID changed a lot, and
Yeah.
it changed a lot for us as well. So
I appreciate your work. It's very important, and thank you for serving. and
Thank you,
stepping
sir.
up. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative. Any other questions or comments from committee members? Let me just check Zoom. Seeing none, I do have one last question for you, Nick, as we always ask every nominee. Is there anything in your past that you believe might prove embarrassing to this committee, to the governor, to the state of Connecticut?
No, sir.
Wonderful. Thanks again for being with us today. Congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, with that, there are no other agenda items on the public hearing, so we will adjourn the public hearing segment of the Executive and Legislative Nominations Committee meeting today. And we will go right to the committee meeting once our clerk is ready to go. All right, so that I will officially convene the Executive and Nomination and Legislative Nominations Committee meeting for Thursday, February 15th, 2024 to order. We have 3 items on the agenda. The first one is a House resolution for review. It is the nomination of Ronell A. Higgins of North Haven to be the Commissioner of Emergency Services and Public Protection. Is there a motion?
Shall move.
You can't, you're a senator, it's a House
Uh,
resolution.
All right, the motion was moved by Representative Figueroa. Is there a second? Second by Representative Yakarino. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Concepcion,
Yes.
Representative Godfrey, Representative Yakarino,
Yes.
Representative D'Agostino, Representative Figueroa,
Yes.
Representative Gresco,
Representative Gresco votes yes.
Representative Nuccio, Representative Perillo, Representative Quinn,
Representative Quinn votes yes.
thank you. Representative Rotigliano, Representative Sanchez. That's roll, sir.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and we will leave the votes open until 5 o'clock today. Second item on the agenda is another House resolution for review. This one's the confirmation of Daniel H. O'Keefe of New Canaan to be Commissioner of Economic and Community Development. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Representative Gresco. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Representative Figueroa. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Concepcion,
Yes.
Representative Godfrey, Representative Yakarino,
Yes.
Representative D'Agostino, Representative Figueroa,
Representative Figueroa votes yes. Thank you.
would you repeat that, ma'am? I didn't, oh. didn't
I
see it.
apologize. Representative Figueroa vote yes. Thank
Thank
you.
Representative Gresco,
Representative Gresco votes yes.
Representative Nuccio, Representative Perillo, Representative Quinn,
Representative Quinn votes yes.
thank you. Representative Rotigliano, Representative Sanchez.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And last item on today's agenda is the House Joint Resolution for review. This is the nomination of Nicholas D. Kapoor of Monroe to be reappointed as a member of the Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Senator Fanfare. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Senator Kelly. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Duff. Representative Concepcion,
Yes.
Senator Looney. Representative Godfrey. Senator Kelly,
Senator Kelly votes yes.
Representative Yakarino,
Yes.
Representative D'Agostino. Representative Figueroa,
Yes.
Senator Fonfara,
Yes.
Representative Gresco,
Representative Gresco votes yes.
Senator Kushner. Senator Martin. Senator Moore.
Senator Moore votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Nuccio. Representative Perillo. Representative Quinn.
Representative Quinn votes yes.
Representative Rutigliano. Representative Sanchez. Senator Summers. That is your roll, sir.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have our next meeting scheduled for tomorrow at 2 p.m., which is a rescheduled meeting from Tuesday. Again, the votes will be held open till 5 o'clock today. So with that, the committee will stand in recess until then. Thank you, everyone.
Wendy.
Hi there, hold on one sec. Hi there, can you hear me, Representative? Okay, now I can't hear you, so let me just, I think I just have to turn up my volume. Lindsay had to do this. Okay, so we're on it.
Just need to vote. That's all.
Don't know why. I have Ron L. Higgins, we're deaf.
I'm a yes.
Daniel O'Keefe,
I'm a
DECD,
yes.
and Nick Kapoor, CHRO.
Yes.
Thank you.
You have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi there. I don't know why I'm saying things I'm there, but and I'm sideways. I don't know. Um, Nick Kapoor for CHRO.
Yes.
Mel Higgins, SB.
Yes.
Daniel O'Keefe, DECD.
Yes. Good guy.
All set. All set.
All set?
Yes. Thank you.
I'm still gonna try. I had a tooth pull, as it turned
Okay.
out, which is why I'm
Gotcha.
having to. I'm hoping I can come in tomorrow, but if I don't, I'll do Zoom. Okay?
Yep.
Thanks, Wendy. Have a good one.
Okay. Bye-bye. Senator.
Hey, Wendy.
Hopefully this doesn't,
Okay,
delay like it did for some other people.
okay.
There's just one for senators, and that joint, resolution, Nick Kapoor for CHRO.
Who was that? I cannot see you, Wendy.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're all broken up. All right, I'll go downstairs, Wendy.
Okay.
All right, bye.
What is it, what I have? How do I shut the volume? Hi, Representative. One,
Hey Wendy, how are you?
I can't hear you, so just 1 second, so I can make sure that I can.
How about now?
Now I have this weird echoey thing. Bear with me. I can hear you, but I think it's on my end that it's doing this. I'm just gonna. Nick Kapoor for CHRO.
Yes.
Ron L. Higgins, Despy.
Yes.
Daniel O'Keefe, DECD.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Gonna do
Wendy.
it 3 times. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All I need is Sanchez and Castino, and then unmute and I don't know why. Um, Nick Kapoor for DCD. Thank you. Nick Kapoor for CHRO.
Senator Looney votes yes.
Thank you.